Hey there, lovely listeners. It's Jess Taylor. How are you doing today? Okay, picture this. You're back in kindergarten, knees up, swinging your legs from a carpet square, humming, clapping, or just letting yourself sway. There's something about those early childhood games. So simple, right? But here's the thing. Those playful moves, they're magic, especially when it comes to dementia care. I know, sounds a little out there at first, but let's walk through it. So in my stage-based care model, or SBCM, yeah, you've probably heard me toss that acronym around before, one of the core ideas is that the experiencing self is alive and well, even when memory's kind of out to lunch. It's not just about remembering who you are, but feeling, right now, joy and connection in your bones. That's why pulling in things we loved as kids, like singing Twinkle Twinkle, gentle clapping, or just a bit of swaying, well, it's not childish, it's wise. The science backs this up. Playful activities tap into the emotional centers of the brain that dementia often leaves untouched. And honestly, I can't count how many times what was supposed to be just a little morning routine has turned into a moment of pure delight. Like last week, I started humming Twinkle Twinkle with one of my clients. She hadn't really spoken all morning, but suddenly she bursts into laughter, gives me this sideways grin, and we end up giggling through the whole breakfast. Mornings are never easy, we know that. But one little tune changed the tone for the entire day. Sometimes I still get chills thinking about it. So don't underestimate those childlike moves. They aren't just cute, they're powerful. And speaking of tunes, let's talk about music for a moment. Music is one of the most reliable pathways we have in dementia care. When language becomes harder to access, rhythm often remains. The beat stays. Familiar melodies can still reach the emotional and sensory parts of the brain long after words begin to fade. In the experiential sensory dementia model, ESM-D, we pay close attention to those preserved pathways. Instead of leading with words, we lead with experience. We use mirroring, shared rhythm, and gentle back and forth to create connection without pressure. Let me give you an example. There's a woman I work with, Mrs. Alvarez. She's pretty quiet these days and not especially interested in conversation. But if I play her favorite folk song, something shifts. I might see a smile, a clap, sometimes even a little toe tap. When that happens, I follow her lead. If she claps, I clap. If she sways, I sway. There's no instruction, just shared rhythm. That simple turn-taking is one of the core principles of ESM-D, and it's where real connection lives. This isn't just comforting, it's regulating. It reduces anxiety, builds emotional safety, and creates a moment of shared presence for both of us. We often overthink dementia care, searching for complex solutions. But sometimes connection opens through something very simple, a familiar song experienced together. Now, let's shift, see what I did there? To movement. You don't need complicated routines. In fact, the simpler, the better. I'm a huge fan of scarf dancing or even just basic hand games, things pulled straight from childhood but adapted for any ability level. The SBCM framework has taught me we've got to start slow, really tune in to how someone's responding, in their face, in their breath, not just their words. And when they lift a pinky or try a little motion, you celebrate that. I like to gather a few silk scarves and make up what I call my parachute game. Just waving the scarves together, letting folks choose a color, moving in circles, or just letting the fabric lace through their fingers. And wow, even those who usually hang back, they come alive. I remember watching one client so reserved, barely a whisper. And when the scarves started to float, her whole posture shifted. There was this tiny laugh, barely a breath, but it was there. That's what playful encouragement can do. So whether it's dancing with scarves, clapping along, or inventing your own mini recess, trust that the small stuff matters. Give it a try this week. Let things be a little silly. All right, that's our 5 minutes. Thanks for sharing this playful pause with me. I'll have more ideas and stories for you next time on Recess with Jess. See you then.